All right, welcome back to the channel. And today I have an awesome tool that's actually a couple of plugins that can assist you with actually creating an entire niche site with just a few clicks. So there's all these great AI-based tools that are coming out right now, and all of them have some amazing pluses to them, some of them better than others, all depending upon what it is that you're actually trying to build. And let me tell you something, this one here is going to be something I'm going to be diving into very in depth because I am quite impressed with what this thing can do. Now, I'd never heard about this company before. It is KeywordRush.com, and they have a number of different tools that they actually offer. Now, this company is not an AppSumo or anything else, so I've already kind of checked on that, but they do pump a lot of traffic to their website, so they are actually doing fairly well. So it's kind of one of these, I would say, super ninja type tools that not many people know about. So what we're going to do is look through a few of these, and these have different aspects. And let me tell you something, the amount of things that you can do with this tool is pretty overwhelming, so I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to pick a couple for you so you can see how this might be useful. So the two in particular that we're going to look at that actually work in tandem is a tool called Content Egg and also Too Much Niche. So let me jump into this real quick and I'll show you a little bit more about what it does. So as you scroll through here, you can see a couple of demos on what it can do, but it's just like many other plugins that we see where it can actually create content for a website. But this one in particular can actually create all of the content around a niche all in one go. So it'll do AI-powered keyword research if you don't want to be involved in that. Or you can actually dump in your own keywords around a niche, and then it will take it from there. I'm going to show you how that works, though, here in a few. It will design awesome looking product review pages. Now, again, we've seen a lot of product pages creations with other tools, right? But one of the challenges we oftentimes see with them is the quality of them and also the design, the look, and the layout. The layout on this one is, quite frankly, the best looking layouts that I have actually seen. So they are beautifully designed pages that are very likely to have higher conversion rates. Now, of course, you'll get AI-generated content, and it is formatted quite well, and it can be published automatically. So some of the article types, and this is kind of one of the keys that we've been learning here in the AI niche-based website generating process, you cannot just create websites that are 100% about product reviews. Those sites are going to tank. You need to have informational articles. You have to have a lot of additional content that supports those product review pages in order to build authority and help rank those product review pages. So the article types that can be created with this tool, it can create ultimate guides, like informative articles of which we need to have a good load of, product reviews in particular, product roundups, and we've seen that with a bunch of other tools as well. And in particular, one of the things I like here, I don't know why this image isn't loading here, but how-to guides, which is awesome. And coming up very soon here is comparison articles, the versus, this versus that. And then they have this other one, which is just kind of like an I'm lucky option, okay? So there's a couple of things that you can do with that. And in particular, the tool that is going to go with that, as I just mentioned here, is something called Content Egg Pro. Now, what this does is it pulls the information from websites, okay? You can use it to create product reviews. You could use it to do price comparison websites, daily deals websites, if you're into that. That can generate a lot of return traffic, WooCommerce directories, and of course, autopiloting your sites. So there's a lot of things that we can do here, and this is how we pull in these content blocks here for different products. And also, it will also be able to update prices on a regular basis. So you don't have to go in there and be concerned about whether or not your site is showing updated processes or pricing. So the modules here is pretty impressive about what it can pull in. 30 different shops and networks. So it can pull in things from all of these different types of affiliate sites. Walmart, Udemy, ShareASale, all those common ones here, CJ Affiliate, and of course, Amazon, AliExpress. There are coupon modules, content, and all of these other different types of sites. So this is a very powerful tool. It's pretty impressive that they've been able to put this together in this kind of depth. And again, mentioning I haven't even heard a whisper about this tool until recently. There is another one that's available here called Affiliate Egg. And why would you want to use this? Well, there are a lot of different sites, plugins and so forth, that will pull from Amazon and eBay and so forth that have open product APIs. But what happens if you don't? Smaller shops, then it's going to be very hard to pull in that product data, right? This tool actually allows you to do that. Okay, so basically anywhere you want to be an affiliate from and you want to pull that product data in automatically, then it will be able to do that. And again, it's got a couple of other things as well, but I do want to dive into this and show you how it works. All right, so I have a site here, and I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the process here. I already set it up through here, so hopefully it lets me go all the way through, but you'll need to install two different plugins, the Content Egg Pro and the Too Much Niche. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to take you right over here so you could see how this works. There is a pricing to this. Now, this is an important thing to note. Now, this is not a plugin that is a subscription, so it is not something you're doing, although they have been considering doing a subscription, and I'll tell you why in here in a second, but it is basically a one-shot license. So what you do is you determine what your needs are, how many informative articles you need, total articles here you could see go up, and what other tools you might need. So let's say you're going after a single niche, it's a small niche, and you only need about 75 articles for that niche. Then you can knock it all out, including all of these different options, and you can, of course, select the ratio of any of these that you want. And then you grab the site license, and it is a one-time fee for $100. Okay? Now, if you have a huge niche that you need to get into that's going to take a lot to break into, a lot of coverage of different topics and so forth, then the total articles, this one has 460 articles, and it'll cost you $3.99. Now, if you look at the cost on this, depending upon what you're using, some of those well-known writers, I've talked about ZimWriter, which is about $10 a month and so forth. Those are a lot of hands-on based tools. So yes, it's easy to generate content with those, but there's still a lot of steps involved in getting that content up on the site and so forth. This is a different animal. So those of you who want to create a mega niche-based website and you just want to plop in some keywords and let this tool do all of the work in building that for you, with the exception, of course, making the site look pretty and so forth. But $400 is not bad because you're paying slightly less than $1 a piece for those content pieces. This is not bad at all. Now, the other thing I want to drop in here is it depends on what you're doing with the site. Everybody just trying to pour in high volumes of, or get niches that they can drive lots of traffic to Amazon for, not going to really be happy with that kind of price because Amazon is very difficult to make a lot of money on unless you have some super specific niche that nobody knows about. And of course, that'll be a good return on investment. But I want you to consider things such as, for example, getting ranked in a mega niche that has a lot of informational traffic keywords, long tails, and putting together a website that is driving ad revenue. So just imagine $400 investment on a high volume traffic website that is doing well with things like AdSense, Ezoic, any of those other platforms. That might be a good option here. Okay. So there are other text article plugins. You can go through the pricing there. They're all a little different. So let's dive into how this thing works. So what we're going to do, and everything in here is quick start guides. They're working on more videos, it appears, but it's pretty straightforward for the most part, getting something like this set up. So you can actually go through and select your niche, number one. Okay. So in this, I put, like, for example, Strength Training News is the website. Again, this is kind of a dummy site, but let's say it is fitness products. Okay. Now, if you need a little bit of help here, you could always click on that, and it'll tell you which kinds of niches to use, ask you to go a little bit global. But for example, home gym equipment, and just for simplicity's sake, let's just go ahead and stick that in there, okay? Because that's what they said. Home gym equipment. Now, keywords. Now, your initial keywords, we can guide the automatic keyword research, but we'll also have the opportunity to enter in specific ones as well. So for example, here we can select this. Let's just take a look at this real quick. What did they say? So we recommend adding initial keywords for, like, for example, kitchen appliances. So what can we put in here? I just want to grab something just for this demo, just to make life simple. Yeah, so there's the niche, home gym equipment. So for example, you would use dumbbells, resistance bands, etc. So these are all things that you would obviously find on a website that is optimized for home gym equipment. Okay, so let's go in here and let's stick those guys in there. Blah, blah, blah. All right. So here we can select languages. We have a whole lot of options. So that's obviously beneficial for those who are in non-English speaking countries in particular. And here it says to integrate affiliate products into the articles. Now, yes, if we're using Content Egg Pro, you have to have that plugin in order to do this. Or no, I'll create the informational articles only without affiliate products. So if you're trying to create a website that is, as I mentioned, more about informational topics with high volume keywords, or a lot of keywords with low volume, whatever, then we don't need to have all those product pages. Then we could just select that. Okay. And in the mood area here, you could sit back, relax, and let the magic happen. So if you just dump your keywords right in there and then hit start, it will literally just start creating all of the content. Okay. But if you select, I want more control and adjust the article types and then set keywords manually, then we'll be able to do more stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and click next on that. Okay. So now when we see that in this license code that I used, I only get about 30 articles for this. Okay, so we can customize what we want about how many. So the product roundups is 5. So let's say we're not doing too much on product roundups and reviews. So I can adjust those downward. And let's say I want to have more informative articles and how-to guides. So I could set that up to, let's say, 15 on this. And then I could also set that to 15. Okay. Now, for article keywords, if you want to do your own keyword research, so let's say, for example, again, you're trying to target those low competition, high volume based long tail keywords, then what we would do is we would just drop those keywords into these sections, okay? So we're not using the product roundups and reviews, but we would be using the informative articles and the how-to guides. So you would use whatever your favorite keyword tool is, and then fetch all of those long tails that you're trying to get ranked for and drop them in there, and then the tool will write that for you, okay? So I don't know if I can go to next here. I can, okay. So these are all sections that will be saved. It looks like I can kind of bounce between them. But the creativity level, you can go optimal, okay? Still good and a little bit more creative, high, max, less factual but very creative, or you could go minimum, more factual but repetitive, right? So it looks like the optimal setting is ideal, but you can mess around with that. Point of view, okay? There has been some arguments on this, on what the best thing to do, and this is obviously going to depend on the niche. Second person is oftentimes one that I'll select, okay? And as you see here, it gives you result that content that reads as if the writer has more experience with the products, okay? So trying to enable that sort of tone might help you with a little bit more credibility in Google's eyes as well. Tone of voice. Now, this is another one in here that you have a number of different options in, and tone changes the quality of the content quite a bit as well. I tend to select the friendly tone. Now, of course, you have to select the usage and sharing policy, blah, blah, blah. Let's go ahead and click next. Now we have a number of different options additionally to set up. We can use Amazon here, no API, or if you happen to have the Amazon API, okay, in different regions, you could see that you have options here for Amazon. Now the secondary affiliate module, as you go through here, you can select a second one. Now these are set up elsewhere in the content egg and so forth. When you go through the modules, it's really easy to set up. So you could just use your API and it will connect your URL and so forth, your affiliate code or extension, okay? You can also use YouTube videos, allow passing module settings, search for affiliate products, all products will be deleted, blah, blah, blah. So you can utilize that as well. Just a bunch of different additional options here. You can enable YouTube videos or you can disable insertion of YouTube videos. So of course I would probably enable them. Okay, let's click next, see how far we can get through this. Now, themes, the recommendation just to keep your site looking clean is to use basic HTML, which obviously most people are not going to use, Gutenberg blocks or green shift blocks, and it does look quite good. Okay, so you do need to install that just to make sure that everything looks clean with this plugin. Now, if you don't want to post everything, okay, in the beginning, especially if you have a site where you're trying to do this with that has, hundreds of articles, I would not recommend publishing everything at once. You could put it into pending review or draft status, and then you can schedule those posts, which would probably be the best way to go. You can rotate your post authors or stick them all on one. Okay. Category for product roundups. Now, here's where you need to make sure your categories will be set up. So if you get to this point and you haven't done so, of course, like I said, that it'll save this and you can go and set up your categories and come back. But for each of those, you can help situate those into the proper categories for the website. Now, when it's ready to go, okay, it will start the task. You can, of course, send a notification when the task is completed, and then that's how that runs. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward and it's easy. So if we go over here to Content Egg is a bit more complicated because there is so many options. So those of you who are Uber power users who have been around the block here and setting up these kind of online shops and scraping data and so forth from other shops are going to love this because there's so many different things that you can do. This is a bit beyond what I'm normally doing here, but it is nice to see that there are plugins that will suit those needs. We can create content that is mostly posts or pages, so that is very doable. So that is nice to have. The cashback tracker, if you are using this is how you enable it. You can use external featured images, okay? That is an option. Filter bots, okay? Redirect preferences, pass-through filters. Again, I'm not going to go through all of this stuff. How to deal with out-of-stock products. You could do nothing. You can hide the price or you can hide the product if it happens to be out of stock, okay? So these front-end options, as you go through here, we can add a attribute for affiliate links. You can, of course, I think the default setting here is going to be no follow, but you have different options here as well. You can change the button colors and the price colors. You could put different text in here for the buy now button or the coupons. Look at all of these different options here. You can insert merchant logos if you want. There is your Amazon disclaimer, which you have to add in there as well. And you have the option to add schema markups. So if you have product and aggregate offer markups and so forth. So a lot of different options here. Again, it is mind-boggling how well this is put together here. So you have all of these different taxonomies out of products, again, all of these things that you can do in WooCommerce, price alerts. Okay, so that is obviously for those websites that are updating prices on a regular basis, front-end search, and shops. Okay, so a lot of stuff that you can do here. Now, what does it look like when you actually create a piece of content? So once I ran it, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to show you what happens. So this is an example of a product review. Okay, so I just want to show you the layout. So I am using Iconic here, okay, with the recommended blocks plugin, and it will pull the image. This is very similar to what we see on other types of plugins that will pull in product review posts and info. We get a nice table of contents there. There's an intro. And I just want you to look at the layout here in particular. We have the image. We have a nice looking scratch through or line through. Looks like we're getting a deal. Okay. We have a buy now button that will change as we scroll over it. And we have where it's coming from, Amazon.com. And then here we have the price update, which is very cool. As of September 24th, that is actually today. And we can hover over this icon and it will give us, it'll have the drop down right there of the affiliate information. Okay, so we're in compliance. So as we scroll down here, you can see we've got more pictures. We get these nice checklist here. Okay, it creates these beautiful looking boxes here, which have bullet points in them as well. It has the drawbacks, right? And also pluses and minuses, obviously. Then we'll have a couple of different looks of these boxes. It has a rating system, 8.9, which looks fantastic, and it catches your eye as you scroll down the page. And then we have alternatives. So it'll actually give you alternatives to the product as well, and with the same kind of layout structure here with that information. Scroll down, a lot of information, understanding fitness jargon. And then we have a Q&A with a drop-down box on all of these. And then we have a final call to action box at the bottom with buy now. Okay, so this is really, really nice looking. Like I said, it's one of the best laid out ones, even as compared to tools like AI WiseMind. So let's go ahead and take a look at an informational post here real quick. So you see what this one looks like. and for whatever reason, things have been a little slow today, so I'll probably pause this for a second until I get it. Okay, so some issues to probably have to come back through. This is okay here, but in some of the headlines or the titles, I see that some of them are lowercase, so that needs to be changed. But this is an informational post, right? So even though it's an informational post, how to choose the right cardiovascular equipment for you, it still drops in relevant products, okay? So that is awesome. So we still have all of this stuff in here, good article, informational based, and still dropping in relevant products underneath the sections, okay? So of course, you don't have to add those products into those sections if you're trying to purely create an informational website just for traffic, and then you can monetize it with ads, okay, if you're going to do that. But this is kind of how things look. It is a great looking website, good design, all right? So I am a fan of this so far, and I am going to be tinkering with this quite a bit. I think the only thing that you need to be considering mostly is what it is that you're trying to design or to create prior to purchasing your site license. And of course, you can always buy multiple licenses for each site. So if you start off and you just want to buy something, for example, the one site license and get 30 articles just to test it out and see what it creates for a site, I'll stick to the safety side of creating informational articles, for example, or if you just have an existing website that you just want to create the product reviews for, then you can make 30 total articles for product reviews and then just sprinkle those in throughout your site that already has informational content built up. And that might be an example of how to get started. But of course, then over time, graduate your way up. I mean, for certain in the near future here, I am going to be using a mega niche, and I am going to be doing very good quality keyword research in depth because I really want to have a winner here, and then select this for 460 articles. And then of course, I'll follow up with it and let you guys know how that one is going, okay? But this is a very, very powerful tool, and I urge you to check it out. Of course, I'll include a link down below so you can take a look at this and yeah, get a niche started, okay? It's never been easier than it is right now, especially with a tool like this where you could just put in some info, click go, and you have a niche-based website ready to go that you can work on, adapt, and make some money from online using the power of AI. So if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up, like, comment down below, and of course, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so that anytime a new video comes up, you get notified and you'll be the first to access and figure out new ways to be successful with AI. Thanks for watching.